Riker's Iron presents.
We're looking for frost giants. We're gonna open this up. Got so much stuff in here. Into our treasure chest of awesome. Just gonna pull that back. Frost giants. There's giants. I'm not sure if these are the frost ones though. Are these the frost giants? Nope. There was another group of frost. There we are. Frost giants. Boom! Big honking pieces. I think these are also giants. I'm just checking the list again. Just make sure I'm not opening anything. Because I want to try and stick to our little... You know what? They're all giants now. So, there's 2 frost giants in here. Frost giant number 1. I know they had giants in the previous bones stuff, but these apparently are like 1.5 times bigger. So it's like an extra inch or 2 on these guys. But they're pretty friggin' big. He has a little backpack. I don't know why you'd need to separate that, but... Oops. His little backpack keeps falling off with the little chest on it. But man, is he sweet. Look at this guy. His face is nice and smooth. All of his little detail on his armor is pretty awesome. Like, look at that. His little fur, his arm, his axe is bent, but we're gonna... Although it could be kind of cool to be like that. This little boop, boop. Frost giant number 1. This could be a really fun mini to paint. Throw that over there. Frost giant number 2. Oh, that's a little disappointing. Oh, never mind. I thought his arm was missing. His hand is actually on the little axe, which is going to be nearly impossible to get to stay for presentation purposes. But that's the gist of him. He's got great detail on the axe. Like, look at that. Minus the cat hair, of course. Yeah, this guy looks menacing. Like, he looks pissed. Like, you just showed up in his friggin' ice castle, and he's like, it's own. His arm's not gonna stay, so probably gonna fall off here. But it's pretty nice. He's got a shitty mold line down his arm, but it's definitely lesser of all the evils. I hate these 2-armed gapped thingies. I have problems with them in every game that have this. I try to avoid having arms that are holding or dual holding an object. Pretty sweet. I think this is also a giant. I don't know if he's frost giant. He doesn't have the same little hat. Maybe this guy's called something else, but there's no name on his package. But he looks like a giant or an ogre. Kind of along the same lines. Try to quick assemble him there. He's got an awesome face. I don't think he's a frost giant, but he's definitely a giant. So that's him. This is supposed to go, I assume, on somewhere around him. I don't know where. But anyways, he has this little thing. I don't know where it goes right now. I thought it went up here, like on the end of his thing, but apparently not. His arm keeps falling off. And he has a little keg. A little wee keg he comes with. Probably for his base or somewhere else. But anyways. So the mini is pretty good. It's very heavy. It's very thick. Better than the last Kickstarter Giants. Yeah, the Kickstarter Giants last time. I think I have one of them. I think I actually got the Frost Giants or whatever, Fire Giants or whatever they were before last time, and they were really small. They were like half the size of those ones. But these guys are like huge. Like, look at this guy. Like, just like his chain alone is just really awesome. His back, all the muscles and muscles on muscle. It's pretty nice. He's gonna fall apart in a few seconds. And his face. Just look at his face. Like, there's little wrinkles and divots and everything like that. Very, very nice. You can see each individual teeth, or tooth, rather. It's got his little chains of keys and very, very nice. Just gonna put them away. Frost Giants, very, very nice figures. So the Frost Giants, I'm very pleased. I'm a little annoyed about having to deal with the gaps, but it's a common occurrence with minis. I just like to avoid it as much as possible, especially with bigger models. So next up on our unboxing madness, the Mystic Circle. I wanted this because I play a faction called Circle of Ouroboros in or Ouroboros, depending on which group you run with. And the Mystic Circle is right up my alley for terrain. Here it is. Boom, Mystic Circle. So Mystic Circle. Let's see what this baby looks like. I don't even know where to begin with this. So the Mystic Circle is essentially Stonehenge. And the faction I play for War Machine and Hordes is a Druid faction, and it seemed kind of fitting. I think it was only like 15 bucks or something, an add-on. I thought it was pretty awesome. It's bigger than I thought it was going to be perfectly honest. So let's open up this first bag here. And it all comes in kind of parts that you can mix and match and like attach and place around. So it's kind of cool. They have like, it's great for War Machine and stuff. They're nice and flat so guys can stand on them. They can be used as walls. They can also be used as like underground temples for D&D. But yeah, part of terrain piece number 1. Very, very, very nice. This one you could use as a demon gateway or something, this next part. I think would be kind of cool. I also need terrain for my battle reports that we're going to be doing on YouTube for various games. So this stuff is right perfect. So look at that, another piece to the circle. Very cool. Could use this as a gateway to another dimension or something. Trying to force the square peg into the round hole was not going to work. So there's another piece. I'll do a big zoom out once it's finished as well, because this is a really big ass terrain piece. But it's very nice. Super simple to paint. Could also do some runes on it, like paint some like ancient runes and piece number 3, which I think is kind of cool. Also very relevant to Bones 3. It's got 3 little pillars. Bones 3. Which is also why we have 3 candles off to the side over here. 3 gift candles. So yeah, pretty cool. I'm gonna just arrange these and then I'll pick up the camera. Although my camera is pinned, I'll just quickly take it off. And we'll just... Look at that, it's already kind of spooky and misty. Mystical. Now you're in the circle. Looking at the circle. It's pretty cool. I'm so happy that they've started to do terrain and stuff, because I feel like that's a missed opportunity for them, because a lot of terrain stuff that you find in stores are so expensive. Like, there's these really nice little cottages I like. I can't remember the company now that makes them, but they're like 75 bucks a piece. And like, this cost me I think 10 bucks. Even in store I think it's going to be about 20 bucks. Still way better than you know, some of the more expensive groups, and they're just as detailed. Like they have some great stuff. I mean, we haven't opened up the graveyard one, but it looks very promising. So what's next in our opening? Kyra and Lavarath. I think that's a little girl and a dragon. Yeah. So this is Kyra and Lavarath. A lot of parts here. A lot of parts, holy crap. So here is a part of Kyra. I think it's Kyra. Yeah, Kyra. I think this is her mount here. Let me just put her on the back of the thing for visualization purposes. So it's pretty good. Her face is really detailed, which is nice. She's riding that dragon. Another awesome Now, in the past, these dragon wings for this stuff never plug in properly, and there's always a huge gap, or they're too long, or they're just really shitty. But this one's pretty good. Fits pretty well. Okay, that's as far as we're going to go with this. This is supposed to go on the front of this, like this. Like that. There we go. The other stuff is just her swords and a little banner for her arm. But the mini... Sorry, I'm going to try to adjust the light here. So she's pretty good. She's pretty detailed. I'm pretty pleased with her. This guy, he's got really bad mold line all the way down his body, which is really friggin' annoying. I hate doing mold lines on giant minis. So this guy's face is pretty cool. I like the dragon with a little bit of looks like armor on him, following all the way down his back and his side here. He's got some pretty detailed feet, some great armor on there. Gaps are pretty tight. You could always just trim the plug-in nubs a bit, which is what I had to do with almost all of Bones 2 stuff. This one seems like they fix it a bit. Some great stuff around his side. His wings are really detailed. A little less dynamic than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit more like rounded wing. But still, pretty damn cool. I think it would probably be one of those minis I wouldn't have to paint disassembled. It also has a base here, which I probably wouldn't use. I'd probably cut off these nubs and use them as a rough terrain marker or something for a War Machine. But yeah, pretty nice. I like it. I think this one was like $8 or something. $8 add-on. Pretty sweet. I like it. Oh, he just fell. Yeah, his tail's a little weird. I don't know why they positioned it like that. It's pretty sweet. I'm not really a fan of the big giant mold lining across the face right along like the coolest parts. That bugs the shit out of me. You can see that. Like, look how big that is. Yeah, this guy I think was $8. That's the reason why I picked a lot of the medium chunky stuff add-ons, was they were just worth it. So I know in store they were going to go for quite a bit more than... Make sure I get all the small bits. And the banner's pretty cool. It'd be nice to do like a really nice, like, you know, dwarven... She's a little dwarf riding a dragon, like a little dwarven banner. This guy comes with a little sword too. I guess it plugs in on her thigh. So that's Kyra and Lavarath. Yeah, most of the add-ons were between $8 and $15. There was a few that were a little bit bigger. I think the Graveyard expansion was actually... I think that one was actually $25. Surprisingly, if you can see how big this friggin' thing is, this was only $60. It's the same size as me sitting. But we'll get to that later. Yeah, anyways. All of it was pretty damn worth it. And I love dragons. I love painting bigger minis, or if you can call them minis, bigger models, I guess would make more sense. Look at the size of his wing. It's like the entire screen here. So let's look at the dragon. This one's gonna be sweet. Let's put his face on at least, make him dragon-esque. He almost has a bit of a Chinese dragon feel. There's been a bit of a theme in this Bones. All this stuff feels very Asian influenced. How does this guy's little tail go in? There we go. It's kind of a weird position. It's got a little base as usual. Again, I'll probably just use it as a difficult terrain marker. Get his arm in there. So I'm going to show him without his wings right now, because his wings are really, really big. But if you can see like the really high detail of the scales, like really deep. They're almost like feathers. Like they have like that kind of texture on them. This is going to be a really great mini for people to paint. Usual shitty gaps we're going to have to fill. But if you look at his face... Yeah, this guy's huge. What? So is the big box that I previewed there. He's third to last on our unboxing today. So this guy's got a pretty nice face on him too. Like, look at that. Really, really nice. And let's maybe try to get a wing on him, just for size comparison. So, I'm just going to let his parts fall off here, but his wing is pretty big, and I like his wing because it reminds me of a giant bat wing. It feels nice, it has a great texture on it. Has some awesome detail on the back, and it connects very well, or at least it felt like it did. Still an annoying gap there. I'm glad that they do a heavy bones line. Sorry, a heavy dragon line every Kickstarter. Oh, you could probably put a rider somewhere. If you like cut off like maybe here, like cut off this little spine, put a little saddle. You could totally do it. Well, the wings aren't very. There's not a huge div in there, but this guy's pretty sweet. I'm quite pleased with this. I think he was $10. What was he? Yeah, he was $10. I see him right here. Not too shabby for $10. He's going to go on a huge base for... Because in Iron Kingdoms, which is what I play the most, whenever I'm doing dragon stuff, they do have dragon spawns, which are lesser versions of their god forms. I don't want to say god, because they're not really gods. They're lesser versions of their pure dragon forms. So that was Stormwing. Stormwing was a very, very nice model. I like how deep his scales were. ShubNiggurath. He is, I believe, a Cthulhu figure that I looked like he was going to be really cool. I believe it's this one here. Yes. Monstrous friggin' mini. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to put this together. Look at all the tentacles. There's like 30 tentacles in here. This one might be a hard one to show you guys. But we're going to try. Oh, this looks so cool. I feel like it's Christmas. It's a never-ending Christmas. His base is pretty cool. This one I might actually have to use the base for it because it looks like he's got a very bizarre... So, I'm not even sure what I'm looking at here. I don't even know where to start with this. Okay, let's try to find where the legs go. This guy's going to be a awesome, but also a nightmare to paint. Just look at all the, like just without his tentacles, like all of the little fuzzy weird details and barnacles and fur, eyeballs and mouths. It's going to be great when he is finished, but holy crap. It's daunting. So all these little plugins plug in with the tentacles. So I'm just going to take off the legs. This one's really hard to kind of show you guys because he's really big and awkward and he's got all these little spindly bits. I think that gives a good idea of kind of what he's like. Like, just everything about him is really, really detailed. And he has like udders. I didn't notice that. He has udders at the bottom. He's like a cow. It's like a giant sea cow with tentacles. I think this was made for a certain Asian audience. So let's see if he'll stand up at least while we're trying to sort out these tentacles here. So the tentacles are all really nice. They're all going to have this stupid mold line all the way down and around it, but because it's rounded, it's really easy to buffer out. These are his horn ones, I believe. The ones for the front. I'm not going to try to assemble them because I can't figure out how to assemble them yet. But the picture I'm looking at, it's just his whole back is just like 1,000 tentacles coming off of it. Like all of this stuff is just attached to his back. Like he's been infected by something. But I wanted to get a mini that was, or a giant mini that wasn't the typical fantasy thing, and this was one of them, along with the undersea creature one that's upcoming. And like, look at all these tentacles. These are all different ones, by the way. There's this little one we haven't looked at. It's all really nice. It's got a lot of stuff on it. I like all these little random growth spikes. It's pretty good. I like that they're flexible. They're not stiff, so they're not going to pop off, and they're not going to... might be a problem with painting. Maybe if you bend it the wrong way, it might peel the paint, but hopefully sealer will prevent that. Yeah, this mini is mental, if you can call it a mini. Oh, we found a giant hard piece. I think that's his tail. Yes, this is his tail. So it just goes on his little back there. Giant tail. More tentacles, if you can believe it. Just tentacles everywhere. Still has some of the mold gunk on it. That's why we're going to be cleaning these guys. And the fancy base. Yeah, they changed the base actually. This part wasn't here before. It used to be, this was this was empty. This part was empty, and this part was attached to one of the feet. But I guess they just made it one big piece. Probably easier to manufacture. Oh, so that's that was ShubNiggurath. Okay, next up we got the Ogre Command. And the chest of many things. Ogre Command. Nope. Ah. Ogre Command. This one's pretty sweet. I bought this because I liked the variety of stuff that came with it. I think this was also, I think this one was $8. We have a standard bearer for the Ogre Command. Should be awesome to paint like a nice design on it for whatever your D&D enemies have. It's pretty detailed. You can still see like the creases and the little wooden bits. It's nice detail in the skulls. Well, pretty decent anyways. The little dudes at the bottom are pretty nice. This guy's face on the one side looks a little melted, but everything else pretty cool. I also like the little detail of a little wheel at the bottom that they use. Kind of push it around. The cool thing about this is you could use it for games that have objective markers. You just like stick it on a base, put it somewhere, you got yourself like a little objective marker. I might even do that. You also have little drummer boy and his manslave. It's kind of cool. There's a lot of lacking detail, like it's hard to see what things are. It's very plain, but you can always gussy that up. Some light layering. Or dry brush, whatever you prefer. This guy's supposed to go with this guy with the little drum, like this. Boom, boom, boom. This little drummer boy. Well, he's not the drummer, but he is the drum, essentially. Sorry, I was holding that a little too low. James Winter says, it's practically the standard by which all others will be measured. That's true. I like the little standard. I like this. It's nice to have these little set pieces. And now the actual command group. We have Mamacita. So weird gap there, but it's okay because of the the shirt covers it up. It's really hard to see, but there's actually a little goblin dude here that she's holding onto with a rope. There's not a lot of detail. It's kind of hard to see it actually. That's going to be kind of annoying to paint and separate from the rest. But her face is really nice. It's really nicely detailed. See it there. Cool. And then we have Commander-in-Chief. Very detailed. Everything is very crisp on this guy. Like, look at the door. It's like... It's very, very detailed. The back, all the little armor bits and the little rivets. So that was the Ogre command. Really, really nice models all around. The only thing I don't like is it's hard to see what the little goblin here. I know he's supposed to be kind of hiding under her skirt a bit, but it's just really hard to see the details on him. Maybe once it's scrubbed and base sprayed, it'll be easier to see. But that's the only thing that I don't really like about this little group. But besides that, all the little set pieces, little standard bearer and little drummer boy. I know it's kind of blurry on the screen there, but pretty cool. Digging it.